I will share with you that even if a person never had the opportunity, didn't know about the opportunity, and even if they're, much older than having children age, they can still retroactively go into the mikveh one time in their life actually brings tremendous blessing to their children and grandchildren retroactively. And therefore, today, please, as we're talking about the mikveh, please have this opportunity to take advantage of this. And so, therefore, again, we must appreciate and give thanks to Rabbi Kramer and his wife and the entire Chabad in the Belmore, Merrick area for bringing us to this moment in the history of the Jewish people. You see, the actual going back to Noah, whose ark that was later became arrested today, so many years ago on this very day, it was preceded by the rain coming down during the flood. It lasted for 40 days, and that is a hint to the fact that the amount of water is measured by 40 so, which is an ancient biblical measurement. And therefore, in a broader sense, when Noah bubbled up and down on his ark, the world was going into a 40-day mikveh. You see, a nation's stories reveal its national psychic. And what distinguishes the ancient Jewish, our world, is that we negate all kinds of fiction. The story is not a story. It's a statement of reality. So again, let's take a quick look at the story of Noah and the global flood. Right, we hear about a divine instruction from above, and Noah spends decades constructing this huge ferry, the ark, that carries the species, his wife and his children, into the new future. Now, this was not just a mere story. This is, in many sense, the whole story of Noah that comes to mind today, helps us appreciate the world that we live in today. This is an amazing story that helps us appreciate. At that time, the world had gone crazy. And going into the ark, Noah, during that 40-day period, it was there nearly a year, but actually the rains just rained for 40 days and 40 nights, was a way of cleansing the world. And as it's explained in Kabbalah, that the world is basically predicated on the acts of kindness, goodness, and compassion. So when this destructive water came, how did it fit in? So there's actually something much more sublime in the account of the flood of why did God do that. Anyone who has been involved in renovating their home will recall those moments of self-doubt, right? I'm sure many of you have done that renovations in your home, or should be doing renovations in your home. And what do we say? Oh, I should have started right from scratch, rather than tinkering with a bit of here and a bit there. But starting from scratch also destroys the memories and the emotions that the fabric of your home. So what we would desire is really the best of both worlds. A house with clean, aesthetic lines and function, while retaining the warmth and hominess of how it used to be. We want to clean it up. So what actually happened in the time of Noah? Something went wrong, not with creation, but with the wild card, the joker of the pack. Who am I talking about? The human being. So the cosmic house, the world, had to be renovated. And guess what? Noah was chosen as a builder foreman. That is why Rabbi Shneir Zalman of Liadi, the first Chabad Rebbe, describes the flood as this cleansing process. The waters of the flood are like the waters of a mikveh, where the waters spiritually cleanse the dross that are accumulated, and the world received a spiritual cleansing. And this, of course, set the course of history on the course of hope and purpose from that time on. So Noah, it's not just a story of old. It's really a reminder of a spiritual redirection. Noah's very name reflects the positive nature of the events, right? The name means so much. The name Noah, who was the foreman, who was the captain of the ark, is very much etymologically connected to the word of inner peace and tranquility. You know that feeling when someone says, "I wish a lot of nachas." Well, the word nachas is from Noah, and nachas is the same meaning. It means peace, tranquility. This describes the mind and the heart of the world after the cleanup of the flood. So just as a mikveh has to have 40 saw, this is an ancient measure of volume, about 200 gallons of water, of living waters, so did the rains of the flood last for 40 days. So in all, sometimes we must appreciate when we face adversity, this is both an opportunity and for something positive. It may not always be apparent, even if we're looking at it, but it's there. That's what life is all about. We have the ability to look, and sometimes, as the Baal Shem Tov says, we can create our own ark at any given time. Just as then the world was in turmoil, and Noah found his grace and his peace in the ark, and was able to survive the tumult of around us, so too a person may find themselves and realize, create their own ark. And how would that be? We live in a world where there's so much going on here, and so much stuff is rampant, so much hatred and stuff. And along came Noah, and in the ark, he saved himself. He was able to, despite living in the most depraved of circumstances, he was able to maintain his dignity and his righteousness. As the Torah tells us, Noah went with God. This means that godliness ennobled his life and the lives of those around him. So if a person connects himself to God, he's able to ride the waves. No pun intended here. What he created in the ark was an island of decency in the sea of depravity, which was really the hallmark of what Noah did. So God despaired of Noah's generation, decided to begin anew the task of creating a human species that was worthy of this amazing, vaunted status. So even after God had decided to destroy the existing life at that time, God gave ample opportunity to people to change their ways, to be able to obviate the need for the flood. And when people came to Noah and asked him, what are you building this large craft for? What's going on over here? And he had to explain. Needless to say, many people chose to scoff at Noah and his dire warnings. But you know what? All the way to the last minute, they could have turned it into something positive. But you see, when the flood ended and Noah was able to survive and rebuilt humanity, when he came out of the ark, they became the 7 special laws that were commanded to Noah, known as the 7 Noahide laws. What are the 7 Noahide laws? These laws include belief in one God, not serving idols, not blaspheming God, not murdering, not stealing, not committing immoral acts, not being cruel to animals, and the establishment of courts of justice. Now, these laws, known as the 7 Noahide laws, really got into full swing after he came out of the ark. These laws are meant to be the basis of all human society for all future generations. These laws clearly establish codes of decency that are expected of every human being. You see, our rabbis tell us that flood waters are present in every generation. They are represented by the numerous anti-spiritual influences that are found all around us. Now, these waters may appear very tempting and good at first glance, but when you take a step back and analyze what a person's seeing, their destructiveness can become really, really very much apparent. The ark, when Noah went into the ark, it represents different things depending on who is looking. For us, the ark represents a protection, which is afforded to us by Torah, that can be found when we go to the synagogue, in schools, in our homes. The walls of our protective, world safeguards us from the destruction found from the outside realm. In fact, the Baal Shem Tov explains that a person prays. The words that he prays creates this ark-like protective value around the person. A person prays every morning. He actually sails into the rest of the day in that ark. He's surrounded by his words of prayer and his learning. And so the ark represents different things depending on who is looking at it. For us, the ark is that protective value around us. And of course, the ark also represents what Noah was. Noah was known. To whom was given the 7 no-hide laws, and these are God's clear instructions of the aspirations of all humanity. It's precisely those laws that allow for humankind to achieve in the most open way, in a state of of holiness and godliness. So what we learn today is, as we reflect on the fact that this is the day, over 3,000 years ago, Noah's Ark came to rest at Mount Ararat, reminds us of the importance of creating an ark in our life, and the importance of what preceded that. Of course, as I said, the world was put into a mikveh, and the importance of us appreciating the importance of the 7 no-hide laws, and how we must create, during these trying times, to create a place of refuge in our personal, communal, and even a national, so to speak, ark. We must make sure that negative influences are securely locked out. Better still, we must allow the light from ourselves to shine forth and to be a light unto the nations, to be a lamplighter to create a difference in the world today. And that is why, again, I wanted to thank Rabbi Shimon and Chani Kramer, the Chabad directors of the Chabad Center for Jewish Life in the Merrick Belmar areas, who today are dedicating the amazing mikveh right on Hewlett Avenue at 2174 Hewlett Avenue. And I'm again, on behalf of the Kramers, extending this invitation to all of our wonderful listeners to join us this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. for a mikveh tour. There are no costs. And at 4 p.m., join us for an amazing program and the buffet dinner, as the rabbi shared with us the amazing menu. It's certainly worth coming, and he also included the fact that it's kosher. Hey, you can't go wrong for that. But seriously, come, be part of history. The Mikveh Meilea, as it's called, an amazing effort of so many community leaders who pooled their resources, their time, their financial support. The Merrick Belmar Mikveh Association, Mikveh USA, led by the Chabad of Merrick Belmar and Wantagh, led by the Rebbe Shluchim, Rabbi Shimon and Chani Kramer. Let us all celebrate together on this very special day. Zeh hayom asa Hashem. This is the great day Hashem has created. Let us join together and celebrate and give thanks to the Almighty God that we can see this and be part of this history here on Long Island. And my friends, what we learn from the mikveh, of course, the importance of using the mikveh, especially it's a mitzvah for women to go there on the monthly basis, and with all the details in a very modest and appropriate manner. I'm inviting all the ladies to call us at 516-739-3636. And my wife Bluma will be more than happy to share the information and how to go about this and to perform the mitzvah of mikveh that is such an amazing blessing for the person and the family, the children and grandchildren. This is your host, Rabbi Pearl. Thank you again for joining us. Have a wonderful week. Sei gesund, a good year, and only good news. Stay well.